the Martin Show as a dramatic series.
Oh my lord, why? Who? The Martin Show was great because it was a comedy. Why
Thank
would he
you.
want to make that a drama?
Thank you.
That makes no damn sense. So he's trying to do what they did with Bel Air.
Yeah, but the thing with Bel Air, it works for that because Fresh Prince of Bel Air, while it was comedic, it had its dramatic moments. Martin was just straight up slapstick. You know what I'm saying?
That's
It's going to
crazy,
focus on a young Marty Mart, young Martin, young Martin Payne. Excuse me.
man. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. It's not needed. Nobody asked for a dramatic Martin series. Come on, he must have lost his
I
damn mind.
I hate to say it, but he should worry. He should be worried about his health at this point. I hate to say it.
Exactly. Like maybe that's part of his health crisis. He making stupid decisions. You know,
Because even though he says he's good, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
he ain't good. You can tell a nigga ain't good. He's not at all.
Yeah, because when I read that shit, I'm just like, yeah, he's definitely trying to do what the Bel
Mm-hmm.
Air show did. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
Also, too, I want to give a quick shout out to Sylvester Donald Jr. He's the mirror man for Morris Day now, and he saw our thoughts on the Morris Day Unsung we did a couple years ago. He
Yeah.
gave us some love, so I just want to give a quick shout out to him.
Shout out to him. I don't know who he is, but shout out to him.
He's one of the people that's touring with Morris Day. That's all. Yeah.
He's not. I thought Jerome was the mirror man.
I think Jerome actually took a step down for some reason,
Oh.
but
Oh, okay.
what up?
Wow.
Yeah, what up, AJ?
What's good? What's good?
AJ said, "What's up?"
What's good, bro?
Yo, AJ. So you know they're trying to bring the Martin Show as a dramatic series now?
What?
Yeah,
What? What is? That's what it is.
it was just announced today. I was reading about social media. I was gonna tell you, but I got so tired when I came in, and I was like knocked out.
I thought you did. That's strange.
Yeah, you see, even AJ said it's strange
It is.
because, like I said, Martin is a slapsticky show. See, if it was Living Single, then okay, they can probably get away with it. But Martin, well, how can you make Martin crashing Jodeci's performance dramatic? How can you make Gina accidentally killing Mama's bird dramatic? Hell, how can you even make Chilligan's Island dramatic, for God's sakes? But everybody wants to feel nostalgic. Everybody wants to be like, oh, the 90s. See, this is why I love Taxi. You ain't never gonna see a Taxi reboot. You ain't never gonna see a Cheers reboot. Hell, you might not see a Homeboys in Outer Space reboot and shit. You know what I'm saying? But niggas always want to reboot the classic 90s shows. But this is the thing. They want to make it more PC.
Exactly.
That's the shit I hate. That's the shit I fucking hate.
It's crazy, dude.
They're gonna probably make Cole mentally retarded. They're gonna probably make Tommy a drug dealer. They're gonna probably have a colorist issue between Gina and Pam. They're gonna make Bra Man a homeless bum. They're gonna make Shanae a prostitute selling pussy across the hall. Watch. I tell you, it's the fucking hypocrisy. It's the lies. Like,
it's crazy.
They're gonna make Stan like a drug kingpin and shit.
Right? We gonna find out what job Tommy really had.
Right. No, they're gonna make his ass a drug dealer. What? They're gonna give him a power storyline and shit.
So that's what you was doing, Tommy. You was Ghost's right hand man.
But honestly, they did say Tommy's job. He used to work with the kids and shit like that in the first season.
Right. Facts. That's true.
But somehow, some way, the writers thought it would be funny because I was watching a video from Comedy Hype years ago, and they were talking about Thomas McKell Ford. They said how Tommy Ford, he didn't like the Tommy's job thing. He felt like that was like a disrespect to black men going through unemployment. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of interesting.
Well, at least he didn't have a whole bunch of baby mamas running around.
That might be in the reboot. Hey, you never know. You never know. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to my homeboy Semi and shit. You know what I'm saying? He gave us some love yesterday.
Shout out to him. You just a man full of shout outs tonight. I'm gonna give somebody else a
Well,
shout out, but it would be a good one though.
shout out to my true ones because the other ones.
I'm doing shout outs too, but it ain't gonna be good though. It's not gonna be a good one.
Nah, talk your shit, nigga. Like, talk your shit.
I was gonna wait till after the live stream, but you know, I don't want to fuck up this historic review that we're about to do.
Oh yeah, true. Because you did say you're gonna do a little thing, but
I forgot the other night, but I'm gonna definitely do it tonight because it needs to be said.
Because you fell asleep.
Some of these bitch ass niggas online want to just run their mouth about shit that they don't know.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it after the hip hop groups and shit.
Yeah,
you don't worry. Hey, AJ, do you have an extra backwood or some shit?
No.
You got an extra backwood?
Mike was good.
Oh, just go and get one.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna give you some money to get a pack of Rellos too.
That's cool.
Thank you. Yeah. What's up, Mike? Hey, yo, Mike. Last night was funny as hell, though. Somebody else I was gonna give a shout out to, but it'll come back to me. It'll come back. What's up, Christian? Oh yeah, Christian. How was the Janet Jackson concert? How was that? Yeah, man. Janet. I saw Janet live last year, man. Honestly, last year might be the best year of concerts. I saw Janet, then I went to the Hip Hop 50 concert later on that year. It was so good it hit my pocket. I'm not gonna go to any more concerts till like after once the fall hits. Yeah, once the fall hits and shit. And honestly, too, there's not really been that many people I want to just see right away. I know Ice Cube and Red Hot Chili Peppers, they came to my town a couple weeks ago. I was kind of bummed out. I missed that shit. It's like Ice Cube and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Wow.
Right.
Of course, StreamYard wants to fuck up right now.
Yep. What y'all discussed last
You said what?
night? What did y'all discuss?
No, we were just watching funny shit, watching funny videos and shit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Nelly was an opening act for this Janet Jackson concert. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nelly's on tour though.
Yeah, because when I went, Ludacris.
I would have came late to that show.
Because I know Ludacris opened for the Janet Jackson when I went to last year. Oh, by the way, congratulations! I heard Ashanti is pregnant. Actually, I forgot to.
Well, I see Luda. I saw Luda on the Outcast.
You saw Luda?
I saw Luda on the Outcast tour. He was great. But for Nelly, I would have went to the bathroom or got some food or something.
And I would have been up there too, but only certain Nelly songs. Only certain like first 2 albums only.
Okay.
Yeah. Batter up. Wow. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. I don't give a fuck. Country Grammar, man. I don't give a fuck. That is a hip hop classic. Y'all might disagree with me. Y'all might call me crazy. That is a hip hop classic.
Oh boy.
5 mic masterpiece right there. I don't give a fuck.
Wow. It must be a country thing because New Yorkers don't feel like that. But
well, I'm from North Carolina or like Raleigh. So
well, that's considered country, right? Or
I mean, Raleigh is more like the city urban aspect of North Carolina, if that makes sense. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying too. Let me see if there's an album anniversary for R&B today, because it's been a good minute since I've done discussion. Not New Edition snuck into the office to listen to Bobby Brown's "Don't Be Cool" album.
Did they do that really?
Yeah.
I never even heard them say that though.
Yeah, I was just on Instagram and Ronnie said that shit.
Wow. But they should have put that in a documentary. That's crazy,
You would think, right?
right? I mean, they put everything else in there.
They ain't put that Hootie Mac.
Well, they talked about it though. They mentioned when they were doing it.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie.
No, I meant like the behind the music joint.
Oh, okay, got you. I know album releases that's important to them. All right, let me plug up my phone and then we about to start this shit. Yeah. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, let's go.
What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing this lovely day? This is your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Try in the building with me. How you doing, Try?
Chilling. What up?
What's up? So the album that we are going to talk about today, let me just see if I can pull up the notes. It's going to be Marsha Ambrosius with her recent album she came out with like a week ago, Casablanco. This album was executive produced by Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's actually a recent album. I think it's like a third or fourth solo studio album.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the album cover, so give me 1 second.
and produced by Dre too, which is shocking.
Yeah, even though he does have some additional producers here and there, but it's majority produced by Dre.
Right.
It's ironic because the death of Slim Shady comes out tonight too, and Common's new album comes out.
I'm scared to listen to it. I really
So
am.
I was thinking, I'm gonna put it on a private chat. Oh, I'm gonna text
Okay.
you. I don't want to, yeah. I wish I could make this more bigger, but fuck it. So yeah, how did you get into Marsha Ambrosius or Floetry for that matter?
Yeah, Flow Tree. Yeah, they first album. That was dope. Say yes and the Flow Tree track, and then when she went solo with the late nights and early mornings or something like that. I got that album. That was a great solo album. I don't think it was
Dope.
promoted enough though.
I agree.
And she had songs on there like "Far From Yours." That was produced by Just Blaze. Um, what was the other joints on there? With You, and she had a lot of great songs on that album, and that was a great R&B album. It's very slept on, and she's a great songwriter. She did stuff for Michael for the Invincible album, and I remember when Butterflies came out, she did that one. She always talks about doing that for Michael, and you know, I like some of the songs on Invincible. I don't think it was a great Michael album. People love it, but she has a great voice. I think she's very underrated as a singer. There's some type of beef going on with her and Amanda Seals,
Yeah,
and I totally forgot Amanda Seals was in Floetry when they kicked the other girl out. I don't remember that era of Floetry when
not a lot
Amanda,
of people do.
but when she was on Club Shay Shay and Amanda was talking about when she joined Floetry and how Marsha was acting like a diva to her, and she basically wanted to control everything, the tour, the set list, and they haven't spoken. I think she said that there was that some award show, and Marsha, she saw Marsha, and Marsha tried to give her a hug, and she dubbed her or some shit, some crazy shit. Marsha's denying it, and she's saying that never happened. So I never heard of nothing shady going on with Marsha Ambrosius. That was like the first time. I did hear a lot of shit going on with Amanda, but you know what I'm saying. But Amanda, I still call her Amanda Diva. That's what she started out as
Her fine
before
ass.
before she started acting and she was on Insecure. She was Amanda Diva, and she's a dope rapper. She has music out.
Yeah.
from years ago. She done stuff with Q-Tip and Talib Kweli. So I never heard of no shit with Marsha. You know what I'm saying? But she's always been a great artist, and I think now she's just really starting to get her shine on Aftermath. It seemed like she's been on Aftermath forever. You know what I'm saying? And being on other projects. I think she did some she was on like G Unit projects and stuff, but I think this album here is really like her coming out party on Aftermath. And man, this was a long awaited album, and I'm definitely feeling it.
Yeah. Hey yo, I'm just gonna cash up your $1.50.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do you want to?
yeah. Just text me what you want. I got you. Um, one more second.
I'm gonna text you.
Okay. So yeah. So how I got into Marsha Ambrosius? I'm gonna be real with you. Michael Jackson Invincible album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember when this album was coming out and everything, and everyone was talking about "You Rock My World, You Rock My World," but I've always liked the Butterfly song more.
Uh-huh.
That was like that perfect neo soul, like that early 2000s neo soul, which I felt like Michael definitely did his thing on those kind of tracks. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much when it came to Marsha Ambrosius and everything like that too. I remember when like the late night early mornings album came out. You know what I'm saying? And they had that song "Far Away." I mean, we have to talk about that album, but I really
Yeah.
want to get my hands on that album. That's
Uh-huh.
one of the albums I want to get my hands on before we talk about
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Yeah, because when people think neo soul, they always want to talk about the D'Angelos, the
Mhm.
Erica Badu's.
That's you. You call him the Black Jesus.
Let me explain. Let me explain. I love the Trinity. When it comes to that Trinity, I love Black Jesus. I love the Queen of Neo Soul, and I love the smooth croon of Neo Soul, which is Maxwell. But there's more other artists too. Angie
Mhm.
Stone,
Yeah.
despite what I think of her. Of course, Floetry, Bilal. No one talks about Bilal.
No.
Hell, Anthony Hamilton, especially when he came out in the 2000s, that was Neo Soul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I felt like the neo soul tradition even carried on to the early 20 teens too.
Yeah.
And Marsha Ambrosius, when she went solo, she definitely carried that torch and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of glad that we are talking about Marsha Ambrosius for the first time because I think we did talk about that Floetry album, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I can't remember, man. That came out like so long ago.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk about that one.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, that's definitely gonna be on the list and shit like that too. And yeah, this new album though, this is just a lot to unfold when it comes to this. It's like sonically, production wise, and lyric wise, it's a lot to unfold. Like
Yeah.
this is what R&B should sound like.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I get my. I know if y'all were watching Lashia's when we did the whole BT Awards. I said how I didn't really feel like she did a thing on the Usher tribute, but that does not take anything away from the music and shit like that too. Plus, that Usher tribute was kind of whack anyway, but that's another
Yeah.
story for a different day.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know who Marsha Ambrosius is, she is a singer songwriter coming from Liverpool, England. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much, she got her start when she actually met Natalie Stewart when they were playing basketball in London. At first they were rivals, they didn't like each other, but then they became friends over their love for music and poetry. And pretty much, that's how they got their name Floetry and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And so they started like performing in like certain clubs and venues and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much they always had a good connection with their audiences that sometimes the audiences would leave crying because of how powerful their music was. This is from what I looked up, so don't quote me on that. And so, fast forward to like 2000, they moved to the U.S. where they started like songwriting for plenty of people, such as like Jill Scott, Glenn Lewis. You know what I'm saying? But what really, really, really brought them out there was when they worked for the King of Pop himself, Michael Jackson when they come to the Butterfly song from Invincible, which that might be my second favorite song on the album next to Heaven Can Wait and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Even though the album was not promoted well, but that's another story for a different day. And that clout got Floetry a deal with DreamWorks Records and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And they actually dropped their first album, Floetic, classic album. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Let me tell you something. If you put Say Yes on right now, I'm gonna stop everything and just vibe to that. That's like one of the best R&B songs. All you have to do is say yes. I mean, come on, man. Like that early 2000s neo soul, man. That shit. That early 2000s neo soul, it was killing it and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, let me not go back to my nostalgia bag and shit right now. But hey, so after the release of Floetic and everything like that, too, they still was doing things. And then in 2003, they dropped their Floesism live album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which that also has a single called "Wanna Be Where You Are" with Mos Def. That was a pretty dope song too. And so, fast forward to 2004, around that time, you know, they started working on their next album and shit like that too. They started touring and everything, and so they dropped like the next album, Flowology. You know what I'm saying? In 2005. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never heard Flowology up to this
I
point.
didn't hear that one either.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it though.
Um,
You know what I'm saying? So that's always a good thing when you hear good things. And it was this time that they kind of had like a falling out from what I looked up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's a lot of reasons why, but it has, from what I looked up, it has something to do with like Natalie's new man. It was like a lot of messiness.
right.
And I know Real Reality Gossip, if I'm saying that YouTuber right, they did a very dope video and stuff like that too on their falling out. And they kind of split up in 2006. However, they came back together and shit like that, but it was pretty much with Amanda Seales, like you already mentioned.
Yeah.
But they had a falling out. Marsha had a falling out with Amanda Seales and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which if you guys watch that recent Club Shay interview, Amanda Seales was talking about it and stuff like that too. Which I'm not going to reiterate because Try already mentioned it. So also that's when she really started her solo career.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about the solo career was the fact that she actually was appearing on other people's songs. And the thing about it was that a lot of the songs she was appearing on, it was like part of the whole Aftermath records because, you know, she appeared on the game's documentary albums on 2 songs, Start From Scratch and Why You Hate the Game.
Right.
And she appeared on Busta Rhymes' The Big Bang album, which to me is Busta Rhymes' last good album. Well,
Yes.
let me not his last great album.
ELE2. ELE2.
ELE2. Yeah, I forgot about that one. You know what I'm saying? So she actually was approached to sign to Aftermath Records in 2007. And she dropped a mixtape called Neo Soul is Dead. You know what I'm saying? And she kind of parted ways at that keyword at that time. And she signed to J Records. You know what I'm saying? And that's when she dropped the classic Late Nights, Early Mornings album in 2011. That had something like Hope She Cheats on You with a Basketball Player.
That's right.
I mean, oh my God.
That was about the whole Khloe Kardashian, Lamar Odom thing, supposedly.
Yep. Yeah, because apparently she was the side chick or some shit.
Yeah, she was dating Lamar Odom.
Even though Chloe was already a side chick, but that's another story.
Right. All of them was.
Yeah, I mean, they made the whole career.
That's a bunch
They
of
made the whole careers of being side chicks. So now y'all know how that fucking feels like.
Right.
All right. So you know, that album came out. That got a few Soul Train Awards, BT accolades and shit like Centric. Well, yeah, Centric Awards and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
That was back when we used to have Centric. And so that actually got her some Grammy nominations for best R&B song and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And also in 2011, she also performed at the White House when Obama was president. Good times. Um, excuse me. Fast forward to 2014, she dropped the second album, Friends and Lovers. That was a pretty good album too. I didn't like it as much as Late Nights, to keep it real with you.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, but it was still pretty good. It wasn't marketed like a lot of her stuff wasn't marketed well,
Yeah.
which is no surprise because I think at that time R&B was just at a weird place at that time because Sam Smith, which I'm not dissing Sam Smith. I like Sam Smith, but that was like
Here
the
you go.
go-to.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Here you go. Who else
I
was
said I
making
like
that list? Mr. Adele, Sam Smith, Justin Timberlake,
Oh,
everybody other than Robin Thicke, right?
well, Robin Thicke, he dropped that Paula album at that time, so he was already done. Once he did,
that was his Sorry Wifey I Fucked Up album.
that was his poor man's Marvin Gaye's Hear My Dear album.
That after being twerked on by Miley No Ass Cyrus.
Right.
So,
but yeah, like I said, that's nothing against Sam Smith. Like you guys know, I love Sam Smith. Now Adele and Justin Timberlake, that's another story.
I'm waiting for you to tell me we're gonna do a top 10, Caucasian singers or blue-eyed soul singers that can't sing that you hate. I'm waiting for that list.
I'm gonna be real with you. There's blue-eyed soul singers. I'm gonna be real. A lot of this blue-eyed soul singers I've heard, they can actually fucking sing and stuff like that. Daryl Hall, Mick from Simply Red. What's my motherfucker's name? Robert Palmer. Right. Where's the love for Robert Palmer, for God's sake?
I agree. Bobby Caldwell, George Michael.
Bobby Caldwell, George Michael.
Yes, Tina Marie.
Marie. Yes.
But when it comes to Sam Smith,
No. I like Sam Smith. I've always said I've loved Sam Smith. It's Adele. It's Adele that I did not like.
Yeah, but there's others besides Sam Smith and Adele that came out though.
I know, but that's just people that come on top of my head. We would have this whole video of 2 hours if we were talking about all them people. Hell, Dusty Springfield. How can I not talk about her? But yeah, I mentioned Dusty Springfield. Y'all like, they don't know who Dusty Springfield is, shit like that.
Who the fuck is that? I know who Rick Springfield is. Who's Jesse? Is that his? That's the sister or what?
Dusty Springfield. You ever heard that song? That's the son of a preacher, man. That song?
Yeah, I've heard it.
That's her.
Okay.
What
else did she have out? Did she have anything else that was good?
Yeah, she had plenty of shit. She dropped the Dusty in Memphis album in 1967. She recorded that with the house band from Atlantic Records. Yes, the same people that did shit with Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, all them cats, Ray Charles. That was a band that she was working with them and shit like that. Now, granted, I'm not the biggest expert on her music though, but I'm aware of her influence though. But I talk about Justin Timberlake. Oh, you don't like white people doing R&B music.
He is not the first white boy to do R&B music.
I never said that.
And he's not the king of doing that. Like I don't know why you it's like you have this image of Justin like he's the king of doing that shit.
People always come to me. You'll be amazed in my lifetime. People always come to me talking about how they don't understand how I don't like Justin Timberlake. And I'm looking at myself like, y'all, he's not the only white boy that does pop R&B. Where's the love for Boy George?
Exactly.
For God's sakes.
Exactly.
Oh, where's the love for Taylor Dane?
I agree. Lisa Stansfield.
Yeah.
He's not Justin. Not nothing.
John B.
Was doing that.
John B.
He's not the king of doing it. John B. was doing it before him. He's not the king of doing that.
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, I agree. Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald. To me,
I think people gave Justin like this fake poster boy image of he's the king of Blue Eyed Soul. He's not.
Exactly, and that's the shit I fucking hate. That's the shit I fucking hate because it's like y'all would talk so much fucking shit about Tina Marie. Y'all would talk so much fucking shit about Daryl Hall. And we're gonna go into this. I'm sorry, I'm going off tangent, but when it comes to the white savior, y'all would make all this excuses for him, and that's why he's going through the same shit he's going through. But back to the review.
Looking like a savior right now.
But back to the review. Hell, Christina Aguilera. She's not R&B. She's not. Well,
I've always wanted Christina. I've always said her voice was meant more for R&B than pop. She's an
She's
R&B
not
artist,
right, but she's not white. She's mixed, but still,
right?
But anyway, get back to this review. Um, yeah, man. So like, so Marsha Ambrosius and shit like that. You know, when it comes to this album, she dropped. I think she dropped the next album, Nyla, which I have not heard Nyla. I've not heard that
I
one.
remember when that came out. I think that was when she had her daughter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I heard that was a good thing. So I can't wait to listen to this album.
Yeah.
But so that it was actually revealed in 2022 that Dre and Marsha Ambrosius were working on the project together. And you know how me and Tribe, we like to joke around saying that shit never going to come out. Because at that time, Dre saw he was working on the album with Snoop Dogg.
Still waiting for that.
I feel like that's going to come out. Because if the Eminem album is going to come out tomorrow, then that Snoop album got to come out.
They said November for the Dre and Snoop album.
So is that going to be on death? Is that going to be on Death Row?
I don't know. I think that'll be on Aftermath, if anything.
That'll be interesting.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We still waiting for all the other shit. The shit he did with Nas that ain't out. The shit he did with Dipset that's not out. You got an unreleased album with Rakim that's not out. So
he's supposed to do some shit with Dipset.
He did 6 songs with Dipset.
What the hell was this?
This was when they reunited, and they for some reason they went to Cali and Dre did 6. Joel Santana actually talked about it on the DJ Vlad interview. They did a 6-song EP with Dre. It's not released. He has all the songs.
Wow.
Still waiting for that, and I haven't heard shit from it. So it could be good, it could be bad, but we still got that. You know, the unreleased album from Rakim that never came out. The unreleased shit with Joel Ortiz that never came out.
That disappointed me.
The LL Cool J, he did 30 songs with LL Cool J. Where's those songs at?
All we heard was Zoom.
No, but I'm talking about like recently, before LL did the album with Q-Tip, he did 30 songs with LL. Now I haven't heard nothing.
We'll see, because I feel like that LL album is going to come out in the fall.
I ain't anxious to hear that either, because I still don't think it's going to be good.
We're going to talk about that, but yeah, so this album came out and everything like that too, and I've heard a promo, and people said it was described by them as like some of their best work in their career, which we're going to talk about that. And the thing about this album, and Marsha Ambrosius was, I forgot to mention, she was also on Dr. Dre's Compton album and stuff like that too. And we forgot to mention Dre also had that brain aneurysm, which that delayed a lot of shit. So we almost lost Dr. Dre at one point.
So he had an epiphany after the brain aneurysm.
You know what? You crazy as hell, boy.
I mean, that's what it felt like. It's like he got new life now. So now he's actually going back to being a producer, which we've been waiting for forever.
I think it was after the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, that's what made him go back to the studio. After 20 years, we still ain't get Detox. We might never get that. You know?
I feel like we might have like a Detox archives in the future, but it won't be released from Dr. Dre.
But he can drop that after he dropped Dead. Then just give the fans a Detox deluxe set of all the shit that you haven't released.
I have a question. Yeah. And this is a serious question. How can you drop something when you're dead?
You can schedule it. After you drop Dead, you have your estate schedule the release of that.
But how do you know that you're gonna die?
Whenever you drop Dead, I'm saying whenever it is, you can schedule that release with the estate. Like, this is what I want to be released after I die.
I know. I'm just trolling right now.
I mean, because Prince got like a shitload of stuff that he ain't releasing. He been going.
Prince, man, we're gonna have 100 years. Prince is gonna be dead for 100 years. We're still gonna have new.
He got like unreleased albums, DVDs, and all type of shit.
But it's crazy. We never had a Parade remastered edition. That's the gag.
I feel like that's coming. Like, they're gonna remaster all these albums.
Camille album was supposed to have came out, but they said his estate was on some bullshit.
I feel like that's coming in the future.
All right. So originally it was just supposed to be a straight up jazz album, from what I looked up, and The title came from the song Tunisian Nights. You know what I'm saying? And she told Dre that she always wanted just to produce and write and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I think she had additional songwriting when it came to other albums
Right.
and stuff like that too. And so they got also the influence from the Casablanca movie. You know the movie with Humphrey Bogart and
Uh-huh.
McCall,
Yeah.
which that's a dope. That's a classic movie, but I'm not gonna hold you. It's a bit too long for me. Um, you know what I'm saying? I like Humphrey Bogart though. I like always fuck with Humphrey Bogart and shit. But
Right.
yeah. So this album has 11 tracks, and we're gonna get started with the first track called "Smoke." Nice little intro with Dre talking and shit. I could definitely see Snoop Dogg on this track too. You know what I'm saying? I love the sample that this whole album is like it's a samples galore. And
Right.
all my KRS One fans, y'all should know about that sample in the beginning.
Yep. Yep.
So that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, this track was pretty dope.
Well, I mean, Dre basically sampled MC's Act Like They Don't Know. He took that beat and he put it with some live orchestra, strings and pianos and horns, and I love it. I think that it was a jazzy intro. So when you hear it, it sounds like it's gonna be a jazz album, and then the beat throws you for a loop. So it's like, oh, you're in for a hip hop jazz R&B album. That's the best way I
Right.
could describe the sound of this whole project with Dre, and I think it was great. And it's something that we haven't heard in music like this combination of sounds. And I thought it was a great intro with the jazzy introduction, and then the beat drops, and that's a familiar sample, a familiar beat. If you're a hip hop head, you know that beat off the rip, and it was great.
Yeah, definitely great. Very nice write up on that one too.
Yeah.
Track number three, Tunisian Nights. Before I go on, let me also mention. I want to mention the additional production too, and along from Dr. Dre and Marsha Ambrosius. On this track, they have production from Eric Bluetooth Griggs and Dem Joints. I think just some in-house producers.
I think he worked with
Very,
them
very.
joints.
You say you work
That
with
name
Dem
sound,
Joints?
yeah, that name sounds familiar. I think he worked with Dre before.
I think he was on the Compton album, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah,
All right. This was a dope track. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It definitely had like a very falling in love, kind of ordeal to it. You know what I'm saying? Love the beat to it. Very, very dope beat and everything like that too. So I like it.
And again, it had like a jazzy introduction, and the pianos come in, and once that beat drop, that's what gets you into the song for real. And he sampled Next to North from Illmatic,
I
my
forgot to mention
a
that.
classic, iconic track from probably the best rap album ever. And I think it fit well. I think the beats that Dre chose, like especially the sample, the iconic beats that he used for different songs. He picked the right beats for those songs. And I think just hearing Marsha's vocals over the New York State of Mind beat was just crazy.
It's like that beat was just like somebody just fitting in the right shoe at first
Right.
glance and shit like that.
Yeah, because not
Why?
everybody's gonna sound good vocally over a beat like that. You know what I'm
Like
saying? Like,
she should have been rapped over that beat.
yeah, I agree. Like Keisha Cole not gonna sound good over that beat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Jesus.
But but when you have a talented vocalist like Marsha Ambrosius, she's gonna kill beats like this, and she did her thing on it. This should be a single.
He'll probably have Nas on the remix.
That would be great. And he's done shit with Dre before, so
And I think he does show Marsha too, if I'm not mistaken.
did he?
I think. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But so track number 3, One Night Stand. Love this song. I think this is a single, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, this was the first single.
the way they interpolated that Mary Jane Girl sample. This is definitely that summertime kind of feel to it, which I fucking love. So yeah, must listen to.
Definitely. The title says it all. It was real sexy. You got the horns in it. You got the Mary Jane sample. Also, Mobb Deep sampled this for Trife Life on the Infamous on
I
that
forgot about
joint,
that.
and it was a banger. Great first single, and yeah, this is dope.
Definitely. All right, give me 1 second to fix my headphones up. All right, next track we got is "Cloudy with a Chance of Real." Man, you're
Mm,
talking about one of my favorite tracks on this album right now.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? First of all, it's a very cinematic song. What I got from this song was like her longing for a lover. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like her. It kind of it kind of reminds me of Prince's "Somebody" from the Emancipation album,
right,
or I should say the artist formerly known as Prince at that time. But that's another
yeah,
story for a different day. That stuff like that. That Sheath Brothers sample has been used by a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this was pretty dope. I loved it.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
not my Nas fans, y'all should know about that too.
Yes.
My Nas fans
Again,
should know about the Heath Brothers. That's all.
Dre is taking iconic beats from classic albums and putting it to use on this album. I think that was brilliant. He took the Nas One Love. Um, well, I the beat, the melody of it, and
Yeah,
put it to this track, and it was they added some strings to it, and it goes into Isaac Hayes' "Walk On By" towards the end of the song. And that was
right.
another iconic, record from a classic album. Rest in peace to Isaac Hayes, and I loved it. Like I love the mesh that Dre did with like, taking two iconic records like that and putting them on one track and then adding, a live orchestra. That's brilliant. This is why he's Dr. Dre. He's a legend.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, man. Very brilliant, brilliant track indeed when it comes to this one.
Right.
Um, Next song is "Greedy." That's the next song. This one was pretty dope too. You know what I'm saying? I love the beat to this one and everything like that. Marsha did a thing singing on this track, and I know he uses a sample. I'm trying to see. Actually, I don't see us. Oh no, 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 yeah, yeah. It uses I think an Outcast sample. I see organized noise. It's like an organized noise sample. So that's all I'm gonna say on that one. So yeah,
Yeah. I want to say this is the current single that's out now. It's Greedy. Had a dope beat, nice
yeah,
piano arrangements on it, bass line
yep.
was
That's a
hitting.
single.
Yeah. This was a good track.
Definitely. All right. Next song is "Self Care" slash "Wrong Right." Probably one of my favorite tracks on this album as well too. You know what I'm saying? It uses a classic Stevie Wonder sample from the Innovisions album. That's all I'm going to say on that one. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Just talk about mental health, how one should take care of oneself and everything like that. So yeah, man, Marsha did a thing on this one too. I love the live instrumentation mixed in with the sample and that bridge. You know, that
yeah.
bridge was what was dope. And yeah, we actually have a bridge in today's R&B.
Exactly.
Wow.
Which was missing, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was great. Again, like it had a jazzy introduction to the song. You had the horns on it, the pianos, the bass, then the beat drops and it goes into something else. And the beat was fire. The background vocals by Marsha, just dope. And it's like two different songs on one track. Like the first part was Self Care, and then the second track is Wrong Right. And you got like, I don't know who the guy. There's a guy singing with her. I don't know the guy on the male singer, but there's a guy also
Hold on.
singing with
I'll pull them up.
on that part. And that had a dope beat, and it was like a duet almost with her and the other guy.
Yeah, his name was Sly Piper.
Okay, yeah. So I never heard of him, but he did his thing. Sly Piper.
Yeah, dope track indeed.
Yeah,
Mm. Next track he got is Wet. You know what I'm saying? My favorite track on this album, to be real with you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It samples one of my all-time favorite R&B songs from the Dramatics. You know what I'm saying? Which this song has been used by a lot of
yeah.
people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I mean, anytime this song is used in a sample, I always fuck with it. Honestly, I feel like Biggie used it the best on Life After Death. He used it the
Mm,
best one. Yeah,
mm,
because
yeah,
the way he sped up that sample,
yeah.
and he made it like a more noir kind of song and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, but back to this song, Wet. Very, very, very dope track. Interesting trivia about this song. When she was writing the song, she sang the melody as a trumpet solo at first. So she was replaying the melody in her head, and the lyrics came out of nowhere. The lyrics just naturally happened and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of interesting and
Mm,
everything like that too. And it also uses like some Lena Horne interpolations too.
right.
You know what I'm saying? All my jazz heads, y'all should know about Lena Horne. So
Yes,
yeah,
rest in peace, Lena Horne.
that's the original diva, the
Yeah,
original motherfucking chick right there. Come the
mhm,
fuck on.
yeah. My grandfather listened to her a lot. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely a
Yeah,
legend. Yeah, this was a great song. It had like a seventies type of intro, and you had like some thunder sound effects in the background. You had a dope ass Dr. Dre beat and the bass line. And this is like old school '70s R&B done now, and she killed it.
definitely. All right. All right, next song. Thrill Her. Now this sample is very personal. It's a personal favorite of mine because it samples Duke Ellington's in a Sentimental Mood, the song he did with John Coltrane. That is actually the first jazz song I've heard in my life. You know what I'm saying? That dun 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 dun. Every time I hear that song,
Yeah.
it just takes me to another stratosphere. Like the
Hmm.
slow melody, like the combination with the Duke Ellington and John Coltrane. And at that time, John Coltrane, he dropped the Love Supreme album at that time too, which that's a classic jazz record in itself as well too. We have to do a top jazz albums
Right.
somewhere down
Yeah.
the line at some point. But Thrill Her, this I want to see this. I can see this as like a single, like a urban neo soul,
Yeah.
specifically for the R&B radio single. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Um, Marsha did a thing on this track right here too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. It's like a storytelling kind of track and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She comes in, meets a nigga and stuff like that, and yeah, man. It's like a very cinematic kind of storytelling track. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let y'all hear it for yourselves. So yeah, this is pretty dope.
And that John Coltrane song, I want to say Spike Lee used it for Mo Better Blues. He used it for one
Yes,
of his
yes, he
movies.
did. He
Yes,
did.
I
More
remember
Better Blues.
'cause that whole movie had jazz being played in it. So
Yeah.
that's a classic John Coltrane record. And
Love
again, like I
Supreme.
love the way that it started out with the saxophone and the orchestra, and then Drake drops that banging ass beat, and it was fire. It was like jazz, hip hop, R&B, and then she even sampled a little part of Michael Jackson's "Want to Be Starting Something." Where she said like, "Baby, is you okay? Is you okay, baby?" And that was just great. That's like a nice little nod to Michael. And I loved it.
Definitely. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, man. And she also said Cash rules everything around me and not to Wu
Yes,
Tang as
Cream,
well
right?
too.
Dre played like the little piano part from Cream.
All right. Next song we got is The Greatest. You know what I'm saying? They were just I don't always like to sample snitch, but they
Yeah,
were just on their bag with this
yeah,
joint.
definitely.
Hit Perry Mason?
Yes.
Come on,
Classic,
man. Like,
classic theme
what
song.
y'all know about Perry
They don't know about
Mason,
the
though?
Perry Mason.
They don't know about that. They don't know about Raymond Burr. Come
Nah.
on, man.
My mom used to always talk about this show, Perry Mason, man. That black and
That-
white shit.
like, I knew that theme song before I even watched the show because I remember an
Yeah.
episode Martin
Hmm.
in one of the best episodes. It was an episode when he went to court
Yeah.
for a speeding ticket.
Hmm.
Let me tell you, Martin Lawrence's single best performance on that show, and that's saying a lot.
I remember that.
And the way they had the Perry Mason song, but it was like a
Mhm.
hip hop beat.
Yeah.
And the way he was walking and strutting.
It was,
Oh my God.
yeah.
And for all the people in this day and age, that's the Got Them Drawers, the GTD episode. So, because people always like to throw that on social media, like, Got Them Drawers. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, but back to this song. Yo, this is like my second favorite track on this album and stuff like that. It's pretty much just talking about how one is always afraid of falling in love and everything
Right.
like that too, and just experiencing and embracing that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this was pretty good. I love this track. I like the way how the beat slowly escalates in the beginning and
Yeah.
whatnot too. It reminds me of the Raheem Devon song Zaddy,
Yeah.
especially like how when the song starts off, it just has that smooth fade in and stuff like that too.
Right.
The way how they use that Weldon Irvin sample, which you know what, we're gonna talk about that album next week. Fuck that. I'm on a neo soul trip right now. For
What film was that from Raheem? Was that the? No, that's
the
not
one with Apollo Brown.
Oh, was it Love Sick or something like that? It's called?
Yeah, Lovesick. Yeah,
Yeah, that was fire. Definitely.
yeah. That's my favorite album from him. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, but I love certain beats like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell, I'll even go as back like Aaliyah's 4-page letter.
Right.
No, not 4-page letter. 1 in a Million. How it slowly has that early fade and then the drums start to kick in. The classic Timbaland sound.
Yeah.
The classic Timbaland sound right there. No, scratch that. The classic Timbaland and Missy sound. Let me say that right now. But yeah, this song right here, official. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. The greatest was, they used the Perry Mason theme song. I've never heard that theme song ever sampled. This is like the first time I'm hearing it, and Dre, killed it, and when you add like pianos to it and you make it jazzy, it was great. And then towards the end of the track, he uses another iconic record, "The World Is Yours" from Illmatic, and I love that. It was like listening to Illmatic in a jazz rendition of it, and it was great. Like this whole album, if she performed this live with like a jazz band, it's gonna sound even better.
Bet. I honestly feel like this album is like a love letter to Nas at this point. You know what I'm saying?
He sampled a lot of Nas on here.
Yeah, it's like a love letter to Nas.
Yeah.
Maybe we might have a Marsh. Ew.
Yeah. You gotta have Nas on a remix or something.
Shit, exactly. Ugh, these politic memes is just so disgusting. Ugh, I just saw somebody just combine Joe Biden and Donald Trump's face, and that literally just made my stomach crawl. But that's besides the point. Also, too, I think a rock artist, I know somebody used a Perry Mason sample. I don't know if it was Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know.
Okay.
I have to look it up. I know somebody else sampled Perry though. But rest in peace, Raymond Burr, because that show was talking about shit. Not a lot of shows was talking about at the early '60s and stuff like that too. But you know what always killed me about Perry Mason? When the motherfuckers got caught, it be the most over dramatic shit like ever. Like when it's like when white people they'll start crying when they get caught and it's like, goddamn, it's like, damn, it's like an episode of Scooby Doo. We been know the motherfucker did it and shit like that too.
Yeah, like those shows back then, like it was like it was a dramatic when they got when the killer or somebody did something, they got caught. It was like it was a dramatic scene, Dragnet. That's another show that did shit like that, and it was just it was not like how it is now where they're more ruthless, but back then
Right,
they gave some type of personality to the assailant. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, man. Because let me tell you, there was this one episode I was watching, and and it was like the most dramatic one. And I might share this on my community tab. It's like Perry was like, but it was actually you, and the motherfucker was I think he was like in a jury. And he's like, it was me. He started slamming his hands on the goddamn stand. He started crying. I was looking at myself like, what in the world is going on?
Yo,
Like, oh my god. See, that was back when TV was not afraid to be campy, but at the same time, realistic at the same time too.
right.
All right, man. Y'all don't know nothing about Perry Mason. Y'all. This generation, I tell you. Let me stop. That show back in the 50s. I wasn't even born then. Let me stop. All right. Next song is The Best I Could Find. You know what I'm saying? This has another Stevie Wonder sample to it from the Innovisions album. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this sample was also used by Genuine too.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? From the first album.
When it was good. Wow.
When he was good and when he was actually he can actually dance too.
Right.
Yeah. Cause I saw them recent performances of Genuine.
Not like how it is now where he's stuck in a group that he don't belong in.
I hate to say it, but these R&B singers, I love it. Like Genuine and Anita Baker. I've been seeing some of their recent performances. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck?
Why? And then they're being thrown in these groups. You're not a group nigga. Like, if that was the case, you would have come out as a group. Why are you stuck in a group with Tyrese and Tank? They're not group niggas.
And Anita has a nerve to disrespect Babyface at that tour.
She bugging. I think she's losing her mind too.
And I love it kills me because I love Anita Baker. Like, it kills me. Mm-hmm. But Babyface is like the Beethoven of contemporary R&B, man. You get come on, man. But yeah, back to this song though. Yeah, this one was pretty hot though. I like this record right here and everything. I mean, yeah, I love the beat to it. I think this is a single as well too. Am I right?
Okay. I don't know. I haven't seen no video or anything for it. It might be. I mean, it's a dope song. Any of these songs will be videos and hit singles. So it's definitely a banger. Right. I love the guitars in it, the beat, the saxophone playing. So yeah, Drake killed this track as well.
Definitely. Excuse me. All right. Next track we got is shit. Where we at? Oh,
you got
last
music
track.
coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a brain fart for a moment. Named after a classic underrated Stevie Wonder album as well too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it's like a love letter to black music at this point. But yeah, very, very, very dope record. Nice way to end off the album. Very cinematic too. Very dope instrumentation, and as usual, very great singing.
Dope beat. The strings on it, the horns. So there's so many R&B classic songs that was like she gave a nod to, like Forget Me Nots, Patrice Rushen, and Night and Day, I'll Be Sure. Earth, Wind and Fire. Even the Floetry stuff she referenced as well, and it was just like a celebration of R&B and the legends that came before her. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Acknowledge the greats that come before you, which is what this era don't do. I think it was a great, closer for this album.
I agree with you. All right. So overall, very dope album. Like, this was worth the wait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't hear me saying that to a lot of albums,
Right.
especially in this day and age. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I felt like, Marsha definitely like this was a collaboration I'm surprised did not happen earlier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised because with Marsha doing shit for Aftermath Records, you would have been thought that they would have worked with each other
Yeah.
for a long period of time and shit like that. But I honestly feel like when it comes to this album, it definitely combines hip hop, R&B, jazz. I expect this album to win a lot of Grammys.
I agree.
I
I think it
expect
has to be nominated. It has to be.
it has to be.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to see no Tyler winning over this. No, I don't
Right.
want. This is the album that's needed in R&B.
Oh yeah.
This, and honestly, I would say this is a 5 mic album.
Yeah. And I think not only should it be nominated in R&B, but jazz also, because it
Yes,
is a jazz album too.
yes, I
It's
agree.
still a jazz album also. I
Period.
mean, don't just focus on the banging beats by Dre, like no pun intended. But it's still she still has the jazz orchestra in the background, so it can be in both categories and win for both categories.
I agree.
And that's why I like it so much, because it's a fusion of bringing jazz, especially in this era now with these young kids that don't know jazz, bringing jazz into the mainstream in this era with hip hop, with R&B, and I think it's a great fusion of those sounds. I think Dr. Dre was the perfect conductor for this album, and it's good to finally say that it's an album produced by Dre that we haven't said since what the G Unit era, the Eminem era. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a while. Like, I know Dre went through a bad divorce. He went through the brain aneurysm. He had the success of the Beats headphones, but it's time for him to come back to music. And I think this was like his way of returning to music. And hopefully we get many more great stuff from him with the Eminem album and the Snoop album and whatever else he's planning on dropping. Hopefully, Kendrick. Hopefully he's on the Kendrick new album. And I think it was great. I think the production was great. Sampling the iconic records from KRS One and Nas and Stevie Wonder and the Dramatics and so many great records on here. Tunisian Nights and One Night Stand, Wet, Thriller, The Greatest. I don't usually. For me, my whole mentality is we don't call an album a classic the minute it drops. I've never done that because I believe classics don't grow on trees every day. You have to grow with these albums have to grow along with the listener and how it affect the peers in the industry and their own genre and how it affects society and all that. But I could definitely see this album being a classic and being played for many years, and being one of those albums that crossed the genre of jazz and R&B, soul, and hip hop. So for me, I think it's flawless. I definitely feel like I could give it 5 mics. I think it's a flawless album. Every song on here is a banger, and it's definitely gonna be album of the year contender.
Definitely. I expect Grammys. If you're listening to this,
Yeah,
you better give this album its just
definitely,
due.
definitely.
And you better televise giving this album its just due.
Right.
You better have it perform
Mm-hmm.
at the Grammys.
Have
I
it perform.
expect.
Right. Exactly.
Don't not no fucking pre-show shit.
No.
BT
Main
Awards,
stage.
BT Awards, Soul Train
Yeah.
Awards. Give this
Yeah.
album its just due.
I agree.
Don't come.
I think it's a good look for jazz because you have an R&B singer like Marsha Ambrosius coming from an R&B neo soul group, and she's on a hip hop predominantly hip hop label with a legend like Dr. Dre, doing the album. I think it's a good look for jazz. It'll be really a great look for the Grammys to nominate this album and showcase it in both jazz and R&B hip hop categories. You know what I'm saying? Especially for this young generation now, so they can see check out some jazz legends like Miles Davis and John Coltrane. Duke Ellington. The jazz greats like that. We haven't seen nothing like this really since what the Jasmine Taz from Guru.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is like a big album for jazz and for hip hop. I don't expect MTV because MTV don't know, they don't do shit about jazz. So
Nah.
who even watches the VMAs? They don't even show videos no more.
But I hear what Q is saying though. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I hear what
but I'm talking about like the Grammys and Billboard Awards, all these other iHeartRadio, all these other award shows, American Music Awards. This is a great album to showcase that deserves all the accolades. It's been a long time coming for Marsha. Been on this label for how since what, '06? This is like the first time she's really getting to work with Drake. That's crazy. You know,
that is crazy. All right. So one down, one to go.
right?
Boom. All right. So we're gonna do part two of our infamous top groups of all time list and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So we're in the top 15 at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my number 15. Now this is a group that it's a duo and everything like that too. I really wanted to put them in my top 10, but at the same time, I have a few reasons why. I'm gonna have to say Outcast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Outcast is definitely one of the most interesting and influential groups and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? And they definitely did their thing when it came to a lot of the stuff that you see in today's hip hop. Outcast really started it back in '96. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Right.
They were the ones that really put Atlanta on the map and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And also too, they also have two of the best lyricists. Yes, I said it. Two of the best lyricists
Mhm.
of all time, Big Boy and Andre 3000. Big Boy just has that fast-paced flow and everything, where Andre definitely had that more abstract ordeal where you can definitely tell he was very influenced by like Q-tips and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I always say the first three albums are my favorite albums from them. You know what I'm saying? I like Stankonia. Stankonia was cool, but that one took me a while to really, really, really appreciate.
Right.
Speaker Box and Love Below was pretty cool too. You know what I'm saying? But Idlewild, y'all can keep that one, to be real with you. I'm not gonna hold you, but yeah, I feel like Outkast is definitely a dope one. To a lot of people, they might be number one, and I respect that, but this is my list, so you have to respect mine.
Right. I got 15. I got Smith and Wesson,
Ooh,
underrated hip hop duo. Coming from Boot Camp Click and Duck Down Records, and their first album, The Shining, was a classic. One of the Boot Camp's best releases. The sophomore album, it's okay. I felt like that second
yeah,
wave of Boot Camp releases was okay. It wasn't great. But during that time, I felt like they were under the radar. They wasn't really dropping their best shit. And then I want to say like around the 2010s when they did the Pete Rock album Monumental, they started to show their full potential again, and that was a great album. Doing the Ninth Wonder album, The All was phenomenal. You know, to me, when it comes to like duos that do like they feed off each other's lines and bars, Smith and Wesson does it the best.
yes,
Before Red and Meth, before Ray and Ghost, it's Smith and Wesson for me. People say Jada and Styles, they all great, but Smith and Wesson is an actual group. Red and Meth is not an actual group. They came together because they label. People forget that. But Method Man was already in his group, and Red, he was affiliated with Def Squad. They came together. Ray and Ghost, they were already in the group. They came together. You know what I'm saying? But Smith and Wesson, to me, they still got it. They still feed off of each other's rhymes and sentences, and still got bars, and they've grown up from The Shining to where they at now. in their careers and lives, and I think they're severely slept on. I don't know why, but when it comes to rap duos, they at the top of the list for me.
I
Definitely.
agree.
You know what I'm saying? They're still putting out great music, and they need to be discussed more. And especially when I talk about like a lot of collectives that in the last 15 20 years that they were only relevant because of one or two artists. Like I said, when I say Boot Camp was still relevant because of Sean Price and because of Buckshot and because of Smith and Wesson, because those are the only artists that they come out that they released. Nobody else on that label get released. Any release that done in the last 15 20 years, if it wasn't a collab album, of Boot Camp, it was Sean Price, it was Smith and Wesson, and it was Buckshot, and they kept that label and that collective relevant for the last 20 years when
Is it?
everybody else was gone. You know what I'm saying? So they still dropping heat now. They still relevant, and they have to be on my list.
I agree. Okay, so my number 14 is the Beastie Boys.
Nice.
Yes, classic. Started off as a punk group, became one of the most influential hip hop groups of all time. Ad Rock, Mike D and MCA. You know what I'm saying? What I liked about the Beastie Boys was the fact that we saw their evolution album by album. Like License to Ill, love that record. You know what I'm saying? That was definitely a more typical party record. But
Right.
after they had that falling out with Def Jam Records, and then they did the Paul's Boutique. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? That was when their creativity stride kicked in, and everything like that too. But my personal favorite is Check Your Head. I feel like they kind of them just playing their instruments alone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was groundbreaking in itself, and they made some of the most banging tracks. Like, so what you want? Oh my god! Like, just the way that song was like produced and mixed and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that was pretty ill and everything. And one thing I also loved about the Beastie Boys was just the fact that how they always feed into each other's energy, and how they're always in sync with one another.
Right.
And they always had that right up until the day MCA passed away. So yeah, that's definitely my number 14.
Number 14 for me is I wasn't gonna put this group on the list. You know, I like to go by body of work, and individually they have more body of work to show than collectively. But I think because they're like one of the last rap groups to still be relevant now, I put them on the list. So this is the Locks, Jada Styles and Chic. They've been here for like what 25 years already.
Yeah,
So switching different labels from being on Bad Boy to Rough Riders to having their own label D Block. They've done a lot individually. As a group, I only think they got one classic as a group. That's We Are the Streets. The Bad Boy album was good, but there was some shit on there I didn't care for, and I know it's not their fault because they were on that label and they had their boss that was too busy, raping and molesting people to worry about their career. So I know that's not their fault, but I feel like their true album is We Are the Streets. That's their true album, which is why they wanted to leave Bad Boy and go to Rough Riders in the first place. And individually they I think they have a longer career as solo artists than as a group. I don't like nothing else after We Are the Streets. I didn't care for that was it Filthy America? Didn't like it. You know, none of their other collectively, and they haven't dropped a lot of stuff as a group anyway. But individually, I think that's where they shine. Jada Kiss is one of the best MCs ever. Styles, same with him. Sheik has come a long way. When it used to be an inside joke that Sheik used to only be good on the mixtapes, but he's carved his that seems to be his lane. Like he has no problem dropping, the Gorilla Ween series. He's been doing that for years as a mixtape, mixtape album, whatever. I think he's gotten better lyrically. I like Walk With Me. I thought that was a dope Chic album that got slept on. And After Taxes was dope. And they're great. I've seen them live in concert twice. They're great. They have a lot of energy and they get the crowd involved. That whole versus against Dipset was like probably the most memorable because Jadakiss destroyed that whole crew by himself. It should have been Jadakiss against Dipset. But the Locks, they have many memorable songs as a group and as individuals. They were killing the mixtape scene in the 2000s. You know, I just feel like they didn't put out enough as a group collectively. That they didn't put out a lot of albums and they kept saying for years they're gonna do. They even now they still say they're gonna put out new music as a group. We've been hearing that forever. You know what I'm saying? We've been hearing that forever. But Styles will go and do an album with Dave East, or he'll do an album with Currency. You know what I'm saying? So I think like I said, like they're one of the last rap groups still to be relevant now. As a trio, and they're great. They're a great group. I just wanted more in their discography as a group.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that, boss. Because it's not a controversial pick to pick them as a group because of the fact that technically they did start out as a group. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
they got two. They started out as a group, but it's like when groups take a break and they go solo, you're supposed to
yeah,
come back at some point. They fell in love with being solo so long that they forgot that they were an actual group. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at New Edition. New Edition took a little hiatus, but they came back. You know what I'm saying? You look at Black Star. They came back. The Locks, they spent way too long being, each one of them doing their solo careers that they forgot they were an actual group. And then by the time they came back, it didn't feel, at least not for me. When I heard Filthy America, it didn't feel the same. And they had big name producers and features on that album. It didn't feel the same like when they first started out on Bad Boy and then going to Rough Riders. They
right.
stayed away too long. You can't do that. You can't take like a 15, 20-year break as a group and then expect to come back and still have that same chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Like they had it on stage. They have it on stage. But in the studio is a different thing than actually, being on stage at the verses and shit. And I just felt like they spent too long doing their solo stuff that they should have been back in the studio doing albums.
Yeah, I can see your point about that. I definitely see your point. Gotcha. Yeah, because people think of them now as like a super group in itself too.
And that outlook on them is even wrong because I don't look at them as a super group. They're a group, but again, because they spent half of their careers being solo artists, it's almost like they forgot that they were a group. You know what I mean? So there's like when they finally come together as a group, you look at them like, oh, it's two or what, 2.5. It's a group that with 2.5 members. No, it's all three of them. But because like they spent so much time as individual solo artists, people have their favorites. They got Jadakiss, they got Styles. Sheik has his own fan base.
Right.
They're a group. They are a group. I don't look at them as some super group. They are a group. A super group to me is like when you look at the Four Horsemen. That's a super group. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Black Star, that's a super group. You know what I'm saying? When you look at what's another great super group? I know I'm forgetting the super groups right now. But I don't look at the Locks as a super group. They are a group. They just spent way too long being not a group.
And that's the gag right there. You nailed it right in the head with that one. All right. So Number 13, I gotta go with Black Moon. You know what I'm saying? Buckshot, Evil D, and 5 Foot. Very dope. Guys that pretty much kicked off the whole boot camp click deal. Into the Stage Alone. It's a front to back classic, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just hearing powerful impact, those drums and that busted rhyme sample, and then just Buckshot going in and everything. You know what I'm saying? Definitely did their thing. What I liked about Black Moon Alone was just that street intellect that they had in their lyrics. Like Buckshot to me is like one of the most dopest MCs I've heard in my life. My personal opinion. 5 Foot, I feel like he came on to his own with the Warzone album from 1999, which I feel like that's a very dope album. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's near perfect. I'm gonna say that.
That's the only one really that I enjoyed as far as the sophomore releases.
I agree.
You know, ODC album was disappointing. Helter
Yep.
Skelter album I didn't care for.
Oh no.
You know,
Yeah, the
Smith
Smith and Wesson one was
album, it
okay.
wasn't great either.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
Honestly, Black Moon has the, excluding Sean Price solo, Black Moon has the best discography when it comes to boot camp. Let's be real.
yeah, I agree.
Because Sean Price alone, I mean, we might have to do an artist Sunday on him one
Yeah.
day.
Definitely, we got
That,
to. We got to.
ooh, hold up. That might be before the end of the year is over.
See, I like the latter Smith and Wesson stuff though. Like the middle stuff that came out in the 2000s when they would drop the, was it? They dropped the I think it was like a self-titled album they came out with,
Yeah.
and then they came out with where they came out with the Chemistry album with Ninth Wonder. I think it was that. I didn't care for those, but like I said, like when they came out with the P Rock album, they did the EP, the Solid Ground EP. Yeah, that was like a mix of like hip hop and reggae. They got the All with the Soul Council with Ninth Wonder and Crisis. Those albums, like their latter shit to me is their best shit since The Shining.
Definitely.
You know, I can't say that about Helter. Well, not, I know Sean Price is gone, but the latter Helter Skelter stuff I didn't care for. You know, OGC is like irrelevant now. They only dropped 2 albums.
Sterling should have had a solo career from the get go.
He did, and they were planning on it. I don't know what happened though. They were planning on. He had a solo single out and everything. For whatever reason, no album. We still don't get no. Instead, that nigga's he was doing trap shit. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sterling? You come from a crew of MCs that did shit like Who Got the Props and Bucktown and LaFleur, and you're doing trap shit. Come on.
I remember you told me. I think you sent me some shit.
Yeah, he did some trap shit. I'm like, nobody wants to hear that, man. Like, if you don't know what to come out with, just retire. Like, and I love Sterling, but that ain't it. That ain't it. That is not it.
This nigga said just retire, bro. You funny.
Just retire. Like, you don't know what to come out with, just retire. You know. Number 13, I got The Roots. Great hip hop band that plays their own instruments, still relevant to this day. You know, they gave us many classics, you know, Organics and Do You Want More, Illadelph Half-Life, Things Fall Apart, Chronology I'm putting in that as well because I love Chronology. Just a great band that gets it right all the time. Their shows are phenomenal. I've seen them live. They sound great live. Black Thought, one of the best MCs ever. Rest in peace, Malik B. He was just as great. You know, Dice Raw, underrated. You know, Rozelle, dope ass beatboxer. You know, Questlove, a great producer and drummer. You know, so many classic albums that and they've been a part of and features, and you know, they on the Jimmy Fallon show. I watched it last night. They had a Common and Pete Rock on there with Bilal and Positive
Nice.
News.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Tomorrow is gonna be crazy.
Tomorrow, yo. When I wake up tomorrow on my way to Raleigh, I'm gonna start off with that Common.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slide through that Eminem.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
It's a big day for hip hop tomorrow.
It's gonna be a big day. I think something else is coming out that day too.
What's coming out tomorrow? What else?
I got something else, but it slipped my mind at the moment.
Yeah, man. It's I'm looking forward to it. definitely. Jimmy Fallon's show is dope. I like Jimmy Fallon as a comedian, but having the Roots as his in-house band is like that was just so dope. It's never been done before, and they kill it every night. You know, and Black Thought has his freestyles that he does on the show, and it's been great, man. They definitely Hall of Famers, and you know, the artists that came from that band. You know, Scott Storch was down with them at one point, and he went off to do his own thing as a great producer as well. And they're great. They're great, man. They definitely had to be on this list.
Yes. Stay tuned for my thoughts on the Roots later on in this list. All right. Then we got the next group. I gotta go with BDP, Boogie Down Productions. Now, to some people, this might be a controversial choice because people automatically think Boogie Down Productions, of course, and rightfully so, they would think of KRS One. But there are more people. You have Scott LaRock, D Nice, Miss Melody, Harmony, Willie D. No, not the Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, the East Coast MC. You know what I'm saying? And they made up one of the most dopest hip hop groups of the late 80s to early 90s. Criminal Minded, when it came out, I feel like that's like the textbook to a lot of styles of hip hop. You know, not just gangster rap and hardcore hip hop, but dance hall too. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the most street you'll probably hear KRS One. And then we all know the tragic murder of Scott LaRock. Yeah. And of course, you know, he changed his steez up and he became the KRS One we all know and love today, and stuff like that too. Even though there's some controversy with this whole origins of hip hop, which again, I'm going to probably do a video on that one day, but I don't know. I want to wait to see how this builds up to more and shit like that too. But my personal favorite album from BDP, I love the Edutainment album, you know, from 1990. And that album was like, it was crazy because a lot of people, when I looked up, they criticized it because, you know, the X-Clan called him too preachy and the humanist, all that shit. And then he had Ice Cube, you know, talking about how self-destruction don't pay the rent or some shit like that when you threw that shot at him at the Rolling with the Lynch Mob, which KRS One got at the asses.
Ice Cube, apparently Ice Cube didn't learn from the Common battle.
Well, that was before. That was way before.
I'm just saying, it's like if we look out through history, Ice Cube got his ass beat on lyrically.
He didn't want it with Chris. He didn't want it with the Blastmaster. I love
Common Author. He didn't want it with Common Author. You was better off talking about Eazy-E and Luke and all that.
Well, he did respond to Common, the bitch and you. He did respond to that one, but
it wasn't.
Louis Farrakhan. Farrakhan squashed it and shit, you know.
Farrakhan had to step in because Common was whipping his ass lyrically. He had to step in. I'm calling it like I see it. I don't care how people take it.
Farrakhan was like, you're not. Farrakhan was like, you're not gonna bear it.
You know what I'm saying? KRS One was whipping his ass lyrically. Like, you didn't learn the first time, boy.
This might be messed up to say, but Farrakhan was like, you're not going to embarrass the Nation of Islam with this.
Right.
Let me stop. But yeah, the Sex and Violence album too. That is a very great album. Like that album, nobody's ready for that album. He was talking about shit that's relevant today. Corrupt politicians, the mismanagement of warfare like money and stuff like that. Of course, 13 and Good, which is kind of fucking interesting too, because when that song came out, not a lot of people were talking about that, but then once the whole Africa Bambaataa controversy, now it was like, oh well, he did do that song, 13 is Good, but he wasn't talking about himself. It was it's a storytelling motherfucking track. Right. Calm down.
MC Light did a song called Too Young for What? And she talking about sleeping with a 17-year-old. Nobody said shit about that. What, you're not gonna say nothing because you're a female?
Well, they did try to say something last year, but
last year, but that album been out since what, 91? Come on now.
It's the hypocrisy.
If you're gonna bring up old shit, then come with facts.
Shit.
My number, you done?
I'm done.
My number 12 is Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
Naughty by Nature. best group for me out of Jersey. Um, they had many anthems in hip hop. Their live shows are phenomenal. If you haven't seen them live, you got to see them. I've seen them back in 2000. They were great. Um, Tretch, severely underrated MC. He's another artist that should have had a solo career, and I don't know why we never got that Tretch solo album. But lyrically, there's nobody that sounds like Tretch. Like his wordplay was just different from everybody else. Even at that time when they came out with the self-titled album in '91, which wasn't even their first album, you know. But from the '91 album to now, they've dropped nothing but anthems, OPP and Hip Hop Hooray, Jamboree, Feel Me Flow. I just saw a new commercial last night, and they were playing Feel Me Flow in it.
Oh wow.
And their songs have been in commercials and movies all over. You know, their albums, like I said, the self-titled '91 album was classic. 1903, severely slept on. I love that album. We did a review on my channel years ago for that. That was great. Parody's Paradise. A lot of people say that's their best album. They got a Grammy for that.
Hold on. One
I like
talking.
19. Huh?
Oh,
Daniel, we sure.
thank you.
Oh, I like 1909. They had some bangers on there. You know, they've been great. You know, Vinny was dope. He did his thing, and he handled like the business side to like the Naughty Merch and all that. You know, KG, great producer, great DJ. You know, he discovered artists like Jaheim and Next, and Coffee Brown, John A. Like he did his thing too. You know, he definitely slept on as a producer, and they're great, man. They definitely gotta be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, for like what they did for Jersey and coming out and putting Jersey on the map with Queen Latifah and Flavor Unit and Rotten Rascals and that whole Jersey, a whole bunch of great Jersey artists, man, and they got to be on this list.
I agree with you on that. My number 11 is The Roots. Yeah, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Very influential. What's the word? Very hip hop band and stuff like that. You know, from Black Thought to Questlove to Rozelle, they all did their thing. You know, when I think of The Roots, I really think of them in two different eras. I think from 1993 to 2002. Well, scratch that. 1993 to 2000, I call that their jazzy era. From 2002 onward, that's like the Roots Light era. You know what I'm saying? They got less jazzy. Hey. They got less jazzy and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But definitely my favorite album from them is the Illa Duff Half-Life album. The best way to describe that album, Roots rhyming over Mob Deep beats. That's the best way to describe it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to hip hop groups. Even though they kind of piss me off sometimes.
Yeah. Number 11, I got Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys, for my
Thank you so much.
introduction with them is like I knew them from Right to Party, but I always thought they were like a rock group because of like the way that song sounded. It sounded like rock and roll, and I wasn't a fan of theirs until Check Your Head came out. When they came out with So What You Want and Pass the Mic, that's when I really became a fan of theirs.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
And my first Beastie Boys album was Ill Communication. I love that album. It's still my favorite. Just the mix of having rock on that album and hip hop, and it was different sounds on there. You know what I mean? And that was like around the time they were doing like the stuff for like the Tibetan freedom concerts and stuff like that, and getting the awareness out for Tibet. And over the years, they like another group that started out as a rock band, punk rock, and then made their way into hip hop, and they play their own instruments, and they great MCs. Rest in peace to MCA, and they gave us many classics, man. License to Ill, Paul's Boutique, Check Your Head, Ill Communication, Hello Nasty. So many classic albums and records, and definitely they're a main staple in hip hop when you think of groups and where they came from to now, and Hall of Famers, and just a great rap trio.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. My number 10, I gotta go with Run DMC. Run DMC.
Definitely.
Yes, let me stop. But yeah, probably the most influential hip hop group ever. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much Rev Run, DMC, Jam Master Jay. You know what I'm saying? Always doing their thing and everything like that too. I mean, their first album, the self-title was just a hip hop classic
Yeah.
and everything like that too. Just straight up broke down the barriers and everything like that too. Raising Hell Alone, what it did for the hip hop culture was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? One song I always like from them that no one talks about from Raising Hell is "Proud to Be Black."
Right.
No one talks about that Run DMC track.
Right.
But they too busy talking about "Walk This Way," and I love that track. Don't get me wrong, but hey, but another album I love, "Tougher Than Leather."
Yes.
Come on, man.
Definitely.
They were rapping on that track. I mean,
rapping.
yeah, man. Just what they brought to the hip hop. They were just trailblazers in the hip hop culture. Yeah. Rest in peace to Jam Master Jay too.
Yes. All right. Number 10 for me is Salt and Pepper. What Salt and Pepper did for women in rap, especially when you don't have or still never had like a lot of female rap groups, and they were at the top, and bringing different issues from a woman's standpoint to hip hop, and a lot of those records going mainstream, like Express Yourself and Miss Independent, Let's Talk About Sex, What a Man, and they were sexy, they're flirtatious, they were very aware, empowering women in all over the world, no matter what race it was, and I loved it, and they have many great records and albums, and the DJ Spinderella. They need to make up with Spinderella, because Spinderella is a part of that group. She's been there the longest, and she did her thing, rapping wise a little bit, especially when Pepper was pregnant with her kid, and Spinderella filled in for her, and she did a good job, and they gotta bring Spinderella back in the forefront, because Spinderella, the DJ, without the DJ there'd be no group. Like the DJs added at that time, and you had legendary DJs like Jazzy Jeff and Jam Master Jay, rest in peace. And Spinderella is one of them. You know what I'm saying? And she's a legendary DJ, and she has to get her flowers too. And what all three of them did for hip hop and for women was great. You know what I'm saying? And they're legends to me. So
yeah, definitely a dope choice. My number 9 is NWA. No, speaking of Dr. Dre, this is a group that pretty much brought gangster rap to the mainstreams and everything like that too. Just hearing Ice Cube rap straight out of Compton, it's a crazy nigga named Ice Cube. I mean, it's just all you already know what they're about and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope group. Me, Easy E, Cube, MC Ren, Dre, Yella. What they did with how they were unapologetic. But I feel like they also get a bad reputation for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole people recent thing, how people say, "Oh, it destroyed the black community," when they were actually talking about shit that was happening in the black community
Mhm.
and everything like that too. But people don't want to talk about that.
Right.
But yeah, NWA is always going to be an influence when it comes to me. So
Number 9 for me is Run DMC. Love this group. This is like one of my very first groups I grew up listening to with like UTFO and Houdini, Force MDs. I was 8 years old when I bought Raising Hell on vinyl. It's been a classic in my life ever since. One of their best albums. Seeing the video for the first time for Walk This Way with Aerosmith, Steven Tyler and that band and what they did for hip hop and being one of the first to have their own sneaker deal with Adidas before that was unheard of. And they really set the tone for groups. When you think of EPMD and Gangstar and NWA and like Run DMC really started that. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And went multi-platinum and toured all over the world and did all kind of iconic records with everybody. They are when it comes to hip hop legends, they at the top of the list, definitely. You know what I'm saying? And that was like my introduction to them was 1986 when Raising Hell came out and they were great. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Jam Master Jay. I never got a chance to see Run DMC live. I always wanted to, but back then, when they had rap concerts in the 80s and 90s, it was a lot of arenas and like tours were afraid to have a rap artist on tour because it would always end in violence. You know what I mean? And it's a shame, but they definitely are hip hop legends.
very dope pick.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Michael. All right, my number 8 is Eric B and Rakim.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a love for them. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
the God MC and everything. Even though Eric B, let's be real, he didn't really do the DJing. He was more like the hustler.
Right.
He was more like the hustler and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like, because originally it was supposed to be Eric B and Freddie Fox,
Right.
but Freddie Fox was missed the studio session, so that's when Rakim came,
Right.
and the rest is history. I was just bumping the Paid in Full album
Yeah.
not too long ago, and just the lyricism and the
Hmm.
cleverness of my melody. I ain't no joke and everything like that too. I
Hmm.
mean, the album cover alone is iconic.
Exactly.
But then my favorite album from them is Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. Like that's just a masterclass of high class lyricism and everything like that too. I think it was like one of the first hip hop albums that actually get 5 mics at the source too.
Right.
So yeah, man. Follow the Leader from '88 was cool too. I like that one. Don't Sweat the Technique was dope. Very underrated because a lot of people always want to bash that album, which I don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? When they were talking about a lot of shit, like they were talking about the Gulf War and everything like that too. That had the Know the Les song,
Yeah.
from everybody's favorite movie Juice. What's on Your Mind, which was on the House Party 2 soundtrack. But y'all want to hate this album now? But okay, all right, that's fine. Let's all follow the bandwagon. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. All right. Number 8, I got P Rock and CO Smooth.
Mm.
One of my favorite, duos all time, and that was like the first concert I ever been to in 1992. Seeing them on tour. Seeing them perform lots of loving and when they reminisce over you, the creator. Skins. Just that whole Mecca and the Soul Brother album was just phenomenal. 5 Night Classic. Main Ingredient comes out in '94. 5 Night Classic, and then they break up. And I've always felt like if any group that needs to come back, it needs to be them. They need to whatever it is that Pete and CO are going through, they need to reconcile and come back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is. They are part of hip hop history. They've done iconic records, features, and it is important that they get back together. If the Fugees could get back together, they can get back together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know Pete Rock is he's the godfather for CL's son, his oldest son. I want to say, um, they need to get back together. You know what I'm saying? And Pete Rock, my favorite producer all the time. He's been great. He's done so many classics with different artists. He has his own classics. CL to me was always an underrated MC, and I think he had the perfect flow and perfect voice for Pete Rock's production. And two albums is great, but we need at least one more. And I know people say that about Outkast. Outkast got like what 5-6 albums together. If they never
Hmm.
come out again, they don't come out again. They gave us enough.
Oh
Two
well.
albums and that's it. And it's not like either Pete or CL is dead. They're still living. You know what I'm saying? And they need to reconcile and come back together and give us some new music. It's long overdue. And I don't think unless it came to a point where one of y'all like threaten each other lives and y'all want each other dead, it should never be to that point. It should never be to that point where they have broken up since 1994. You know what I'm saying? Many people thought the Fugees were going to get back together, and here they are. Here we are in 2024. They got a tour, and I know they dropping new music soon. So I would like to see Pete Rock and CO reunite, but they are one of my favorite groups all time, duos all time.
Definitely. All right. Dope pick. My number seven is De La Soul. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? De La Soul is from the soul. One of my favorite hip hop groups of all time. A great influence when it comes to like a lot of like when it comes to like writing or shit like that. Pasta News, Dove, Mace. They all did their thing. I feel like now since the music came to streaming, they're now getting like their just due. If that makes, I don't want to say they get their just due, but from today's culture, they give their just due and everything like that. Once they got their masters back, I mean, this is a group that pretty much would change the game with the 3 Feet High and Rising album, which that was like a very, very, very authentic, different hip hop sound at that time too. You know what I'm saying? But they quickly got labeled as hippies, and they didn't want to be labeled at that. So that's when they took a more serious route with their later music and everything like that. But it was still like lighthearted and shit. So, excuse me, rest in peace to Dove. My favorite album's always gonna be Stakes is High. That's just a classic album front to back.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, my number 7 for me is Cypress Hill. Love this group. What Cypress Hill have done for Latin hip hop and bringing that to the forefront of mainstream, and then crossing over and having, like the rock, you know, audience and bring them over to hip hop has been great. Being on Lollapalooza tours and Family Value tours and all that, and Smoking Grooves tours, and they're great. Like, and this is like a West Coast group that had the boom bap East Coast sound. Because Muggs is actually from the East Coast. He's from Queens. People don't realize that he's from over here. And having the Latin culture in the hip hop it was great. You know what I'm saying? And infusing Latin music in their sound. So many classics they have. How I could just kill a man and hand on the pump, insane in the brain, illusions. So many classic records, so many classic albums they've done, and collaborated with everybody in the game, and they're definitely Hall of Famers. We did the Cypress Hill Showtime documentary review on my channel. Check it out. It's over 900 views. just to be an East Coast cat to discuss a West Coast group like Cypress Hill and get that type of love is just dope to see, because it only proves my point. It's not about location anyway. It's about the music at the end of the day, and that's what I'm in it for, and that's what it's always been about. And Cypress Hill has always been one of my favorite groups all time. And they need to be Hall of Famers for sure. Be Real has a like that nasal flow, that iconic voice. Sendog, his contribution to the group, and what they did, and so many like the different projects they've done outside of Cypress Hill has been great. You know, just legends in the game to me, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're another group that should get more respect. When I hear Outkast and Wu Tang, I need to hear Cypress Hill in that discussion as well.
I agree. Number 6 is EPMD. Oh my God. Yep, this group right here. What I mean, Eric Sermon and Paris Smith. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope group, dope duo that kind of redefined the game, in my opinion. Their braggadocio lyrics and they kind of get money style and everything like that too. I mean, Strictly Business, I always say, was like a proto G Funk album. If
Mm-hmm.
you ask, if you ask me,
Yep.
and just by the way they were using some of them samples and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I always like their chemistry with one another. Everything they did from '88 to '92 has always been my favorite. When they came back, I did like the Back in Business album. I feel like that was pretty cool. Out of Business was okay. We Mean Business, I have to re-listen to that one, but I remember not really caring for that one a bit too
I
much.
like some joints on that. They have some bangers
Yeah,
on.
it was okay.
Yeah.
But through and through, I definitely feel like EPMD is one of the most, and they brought out so many rappers in the game, from Redman to Keith Murray,
Yes.
for God, K Solo, for
Yeah.
God's sakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, number 6 for me is Gangstar, DJ Premier and Guru, rest in peace. You know, just another great duo that we had, and Guru is like CL Smooth for me. Like his rhymes and his flow, his voice complemented Primo's production. You know what I'm saying? And so many classics they came out with, the albums, the features they've done, remixes. You know what I'm saying? You know, my introduction with them was what, Manifest.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with that, and Step in the Arena. Um, Dwick, Take It Personal, Code of the Streets, Mass Appeal. Um, My Steez. So many records they got, man. So many classics. The albums are great. Hard to Earn, and Daily Operation, Moment of Truth. You know, The Owners. I like that one as well. Like classics they have. Premier. My second favorite producer all time after Pete Rock. Still doing it now. Both of them. You know, he's been great. Guru. I love the Jasmine Taz series that was needed in hip hop. And bringing Void Ayers and Ronnie Jordan and so many jazz legends into that series. Having R&B artists like Shaka Khan a part of that series, and Donald Jones and stuff. It was great, man. Like he did great things with Jasmine Taz, and it's a shame he's not here no more. You know, just a legend that we lost, but they were great together. Gangstar Foundation, bringing in J. Rue and Group Home, Bahamadia, Big Shug. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole Gangstar Foundation was just fire. And the NYGs, and you know, a great collective of MCs, and you know, we'll never have another Guru again.
I agree. Alrighty. So we in the top 5, bro.
Yep, top
Top
five.
5.
Top 5.
Oh, is that a Rick and Morty short you rocking?
Yes, that is Rick and Morty.
I
Now,
just, I
you put me on the Rick and Morty, so you know
yeah.
I don't watch tunes of today, but this is the one tune that I'll check in. I'll check for.
Oh shucks, look at me.
Yes, take your credit, take your flowers now.
Yeah. What up,
A
Ray
show
Sean?
that I actually like that you recommended. That's not Taxi.
Like I said, you ain't seen Texas get no reboot. That's what I'm saying.
You don't need them. I wouldn't watch it anyway.
Exactly.
If it had
Exactly. You don't need.
a reboot with an all black cast, I still wouldn't watch it.
Exactly. I wouldn't watch it either. I wouldn't watch it either. Fuck. But Martin's gonna be a dramatic series, right?
I ain't watching it. Fuck that.
But if they do a police brutality episode, that's gonna be. Cause that episode where Martin got pulled over, I bet you they're going to amplify it all up and shit.
And who's starring in it? Is he starring in the drama?
No.
So it's gonna be. So they're gonna have somebody else play Martin.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. All right. My number 5 is the Ghetto Boys. Scarface, Willie D, Bushwick Bill, Big Mike. Yes, I said Big Mike. Ghetto Boys was definitely one of the Houston's like first really popular hip hop groups. The Ghetto Boys, to me, they did not debut with the album Making Trouble. They debuted with the Grip It on the Other Level album. And we talked about this yesterday. Yes, I think the day before yesterday with the We Can't Be Stopped album, which I feel like that's like their breakthrough album. What I liked about the Ghetto Boys was like people are always so quick to say, "Oh, they gangster rap." I said they're more horrorcore than gangster rap, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because the way how they approach horrorcore, they were talking about mental health in the black community, but they did it in like a more graphic way and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I know people want to say that the group was not the same when Willie D left. I tend to disagree because I love the Till Death Do Us Part album.
Right.
I feel like that's like my second favorite album from the group, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Resurrection itself was pretty great when they all came back, but that was like the last great album.
Right.
I didn't care for the last 2 albums, and I have the G Code album too. So yeah, but yeah, that's my number 5. Rest in peace to Bushwick Bill, and rest in peace to DJ Ready Red too.
All right. Number 5 for me is De La Soul. Love this group. I was in 5th grade when Me, Myself, and I came out, and I remember like watching the video and not knowing like what the hell I was seeing. Like, what is this? It didn't sound like everything else.
Holy shit!
You know what I'm saying? And they were just different, like from their hairstyles, you know, the clothes they were wearing, the lyrics they were spitting. It was just different from what was out at that time in what was that, 88, 89? And you know, they just been different ever since. You know what I'm saying? Each album was just different from the last. It was just different than whatever else was out there. You know, 3 Feet High and Rising, classic album. De La Soul is Dead. Even with De La Soul is Dead, I didn't know what to think. When I first bought that album, I didn't know what to think. I'm like, what are they saying? Like, the group is over? Like, what does this mean? You just see like a flower pot on the album cover. So I didn't know what to think. But when I heard it, you know, Oodles of O's, crazy track. You know, roller skating jamming Saturdays, and you know, so many iconic records this group has done. So the albums has been great. The tours, they great on tour. We lost. It seems like everybody I'm saying they've lost a member. We lost True Goy. Rest in peace to him, to Dave. Great MC. We lost a good one. Paz the Noose, great MC. You know, DJ Mucio, great DJ, producer. And this group, they should be in the Hall of Fame already. You know what I'm saying? It's long overdue. When you think of Native Tongues, I think of De La Soul first, and then Tribe. And they're just great. Like, they work with everybody. The report all over. You know, you don't hear about them in no scandals and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just pillars of this hip hop community, and they have to be on my list.
That's a dope pick, bro.
Yeah.
Um, so LL Cool J just dropped a new single called Passion.
Oh boy, how's it sounding? You mean
I, I
he's actually coming up with an album that's good? Is
well,
it
I just
is the
I
world
sounded.
coming to an end?
Hey, I did a Justin Timberlake album review. So
An album that LL is actually coming out with that people are anticipating for. When was the last time that happened? Like 1995?
hey,
It's been forever. If
and
LL
then
comes out with an album that people are anticipating and it's good, then there's hope for everybody. There's hope for Eminem.
guess what Metacritic ranked as the best hip hop album of this year so far?
Who's that?
You're gonna laugh. Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips album.
No,
Nah,
not even. That's one
no,
of the worst releases this
they
year.
bugging.
They tripping.
Oh Jesus, I hate when these white critics try to put a stamp on our culture and they don't know what the fuck they. I like Schoolboy Q, but I'm just
Yeah,
like
but
nah,
he ain't do it with this album though.
nah.
Nope.
My number 4 is Gangstar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a group that I grew up listening to for the most part of my life, and I like this the combination with Guru and Primo. It's kind of crazy. You have a nigga from Boston and a nigga from Houston
Right.
making some of the best East Coast hip hop of all time.
Exactly, right? And
You know,
when people throw in that region thing, I'm like, yeah, but y'all love Primo, right? Where you think he from? He ain't from New York? He's
right?
from Texas. Don't throw no shit about no region. I don't want to hear that.
Don't come. It's like don't come up to me with that
I
bullshit.
mean,
Nigga.
when
Like,
Ice Cube did America's Most Wanted, where you think he was at? He was in New York with the Bomb Squad. When LL did Big and Deffer, where did he go? To LA.
oh, I'll do you better. What was Trap Called Quest was influenced by NWA Shout Out to Compton when they did Low
Right.
End Theory.
Exactly.
Niggas don't talk about that shit.
Exactly.
Niggas don't talk about that shit.
Yeah. But they want to throw region in it. I'm like, don't give me no region when y'all love Primo. Y'all love Guru. Where you think Guru from? He's from New York.
But yeah, Gangstar, man. I love fucking Gangstar. It's like they're some of the best hip hop I've heard in my life. From Mass Appeal to Moment of Truth, Above the Clouds, Execution of a Chump, Take It Personal. You know what I'm saying? This is just pretty much, some of the hip hop quotables I memorized were mostly Gangstar songs, like some of the first
He ain't from New
quotables.
York. It don't matter. I'm from New York and I know about West Coast hip hop probably more than you do.
What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly. It don't matter.
I'm from North Carolina. I follow New York hip hop. What the fuck you mean?
Exactly. It don't matter. Oh, he followed New York hip hop, so he was in Texas while he was doing it. That's where he was born. He wasn't born up here. So what's your point?
I failed to realize that point too. I'm sorry, but it's like I hate to say this, but I thought Q would be saying some weird shit. But it's like Cuban.
These niggas would never come on my channel with that bullshit. I would block you in a minute. Think I won't. Reg is too nice to y'all. I ain't Reg.
Oh shit. Hey, that's on you, Shy. That's on you. I block motherfuckers if they on some disrespectful shit, but I'm just saying. Yagfu from who the fuck is Yagfu?
Yeah, but what's the point? I don't know what point you're trying to make.
Who the fuck is Yagfu?
Little brothers from North Carolina, and they don't have a North Carolina sound. So what's your point? Cypress Hill is from the West Coast. They don't have a West Coast sound.
Hell, George Clinton was born in North Carolina. Y'all don't talk about that.
Exactly. I'm still waiting for your point. You're not saying nothing. I'm just saying. You're not saying shit.
But yeah, that's my number 4.
My number 4 is Tribe Called Quest.
That's my number 3.
That's your number 4 too?
That's my number 3.
Oh, that's your number 3?
Yeah.
I have a feeling we have the similar last couple of traits.
We always do. We always do.
We don't plan this. It's just magical. You know? Tribe, again, like when I think native tongue is De La and Tribe, Queen Latifah, Moni Love. That is, Jungle Brothers as well. Chi Ali, like that's like the main core for Native Tongues for me. And Tribe was just, again, they were just different. They had a different sound, a different look to their souls. At least for the first album, they had a different look. You know, um, Q-Tip, one of the best MCs all time, great producer, along with Ali and Dilla, rest in peace, and forming the Uma, great production team. Fife Dog, great MC as well, doesn't get the props that he deserved. He was a great sports fanatic like myself. We talked about Knicks and the Mets and the Rangers and all that. Great, he was a great fan of New York sports and just sports in general. And it's a shame that he's no longer here. Rest in peace to Fife. You know, again, like the so many classic records they have. Award Tour and Check the Rhyme. Bonita Applebaum, Electric Relaxation. You know, just so many iconic records. Can I Kick It? Great albums as well. And they're Hall of Famers. We're not waiting for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to put these legends in the hall. They're Hall of Famers to me already. And they I never got a chance to see them live, but they're great, a great group, and it's a shame that we don't have Fife anymore.
It is a shame. Yeah, Tribe Called Quest is my number three and everything. The perfect combination of hip hop and jazz next to Gangstar, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? One thing I like about Tribe Called Quest was just that everyday lifestyle of their music and stuff like
yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? From Bonita Applebaum to 8 Million Stories to Scenario, Look at the Lucian and everything like that to Q-Tip and Fife, definitely two of the best MCs of all time, in my personal opinion. And yeah, I definitely feel like they are definitely worthy of all the influence. And rest in peace to Five Dog. I'm still tragic and stuff like that too. But yeah.
yeah, definitely. My number three for me is Mob Deep,
Ooh.
Prodigy, and Havoc. Again, another legend we lost. Rest in peace to Prodigy, one of the best MCs all time. He had a great run with Mob, had a great solo run with what he was doing, and giving us many classic albums and records and features. And Havoc, a great producer, gave us many classic beats for Mob Deep, and not just for Mob, but Infamous Mob and for Foxy Brown and for even Kanye he did shit for, and just a great all around producer. Still doing it now in this day and age, and many classic records. Shook Ones Part Two, Survival of the Fittest. The Learning, um, Hell on Earth, Drop a Gem. So many classic Quiet Storm remix, classic albums, Infamous, Hell on Earth, Murder Music. I love and I got to see them live in 1999 when Quiet Storm came out and they killed it on Jones Beach. That's the only time I got to see both of them live, and it was great. And yeah, man, like when I think of like rap duos, they're like at the top for me as well. And just giving us that grimy gutter New York sound. You know what I'm saying? That from Queensbridge, and them and Nas putting Queensbridge on the map with other legends like Roxanne and MC Shan and Marley Marl, and they really took, honestly, Mobb Deep really took Queensbridge to the next level in the '90s, and giving us many other great Queensbridge MCs like Cormega and Big Noid, Infamous Mob, you know, just a great group, a great Queensbridge collective out there, and they Prodigy is definitely gonna be missed.
Definitely. My number two is Up from the 36 Chambers.
Yes,
The Woo, the Visa, the Jizza, old dirty bastard, Inspector Deck, Raekwon the Chef, You God, Ghostface Killer and the
Bam, bam,
METHOD. Man, come
bam, bam,
on.
bam.
Yo, man. I'm telling you, if they ever get recognized in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
They got to.
if their induction speech is not like this, then they failed. They
That
failed that
gotta be
shit.
that gotta be next year. That should be the next. The next inductee should have Wu Tang on that list. It
Definitely.
should, because they've already been in the game for 30 years. Like, it's what's the holdup?
Shit. But yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. But yeah, Wu Tang is definitely like one of my favorite groups of all, not just in hip hop and music in general, just nine MCs and a collective just ripping the mic at all times and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the first, you know that Martin Scully dude, motherfucker who bought that Wu Tang.
Yep.
He made a comment talking about, oh well, 36 Chambers is a bad album. You know, yeah, that's stupid shit.
Why?
That's
So
so
why you buy the album then? To do what?
exactly.
To brag and say that you got it?
No, he's talking about the first album, the day.
No, but I'm
And
saying, but what if you don't like their first album? Why did you put out all that money to buy their unreleased album and be some culture vulture and say, "Oh, look, I got the Wu Tang album that y'all will never hear."
Culture Vault. Yep, you're right about that.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, man, I definitely feel like they're definitely one of the most powerful hip hop groups of all time and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, definitely legends in its own right. Rest in peace to ODB.
My number two is Outkast, another great hip hop duo that legends or Hall of Famers. Big Boy and Andre, and what they did for Atlanta, and putting on Organized Noise and the Dungeon Family and so many great artists that came from that collective. They were great. I've seen them on tour for Stankonia. They killed it. Had the whole Dungeon Family with them. Sleepy Brown was with them. Rest in peace to Rico Wade. They were great, man. Like, so many classic records they have, albums, features, worked with everybody. They definitely got to be in the Hall of Fame. Especially coming out at a time in '94 when at that time Atlanta hip hop was crisscrossing the rest of development, and people felt like those two groups didn't really represent Atlanta the way it should be until Outkast came out, and the South had something to say, like Andre said, and it's they were great. They were great. We definitely, I would love to hear another Outkast album, but if they don't give us another album ever, they gave us enough classics. You know what I'm saying? So they got at least 4 or 5 classics in their discography. So um they one of the best duos ever.
Definitely. And I think we might have the same number one. Public Enemy.
No, actually, Public Enemy was number 20 for me.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
that was in my top 20. Yeah. Hey man, I couldn't.
Wow.
Everybody wasn't fitting on this list, man. If it was top 50, the honorable mentions could have been on this list too. But yeah, Public Enemy was in my top 20.
Oh wow. I forgot about that, but that's my number one. Public Enemy. I mean, this is a group that just changed the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? Love this group. One of the groups that really just brought conscious hip hop to the forefront, but more militant tone and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And definitely, I definitely feel like both Chuck D and Flavor Flav probably two of the most charismatic personalities in hip hop. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back alone is just a classic album. Feel for Black Planet. First of all, I love the title.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So fucking Afro. It was just so fucking black. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, must listen to Apocalypse 91.
Yeah.
Music and Our Message. I forgot Yo Bum Rush the Show. Come on, man.
Yep. Definitely great. They're great group. Wu-Tang is my number one. Another group that changed the game, and they just bum rushed the whole shit and just having nine talented MCs along with like so many other offspring artists and groups like Sons of Man and Killer Army, Royal Fam and the Wu Syndicate. Shout out to them. Just a phenomenal collective of MCs and a great producer with RZA, having other great producers with them, Fourth Disciple and Mathematics, True Master, Bronze Nazareth. Just they just changed the game, when you think of like collectives and the artists within those collectives having record deals, Wu-Tang started that. You know what I'm saying? There would be no G Unit and Dipset and State Property without Wu-Tang. Like they changed the game. 9 different MCs having solo record deals on different labels. Some of them being on the same label like Raekwon and Inspector Deck on Loud Records, and Method Man being on Def Jam, and Ghostface comes on Def Jam later on in his career, and Jizza on Geffen. It was just great, and combining like kung fu flicks with hip hop was just brilliant. You know what I'm saying? And sampling a lot of those kung fu classics, into the songs, and they've done it all, man. Worldwide top. I've seen them live. They were great. ODB, rest in peace. He was crazy as hell. You know, they still doing it. They've been on the tour with Nas. They killed that. So many iconic records. Protect Your Neck and Cream and Can It All Be So Simple? Triumph. It's Yours. Mystery of Chess Boxing. Like so many classic records and albums. They've done features, remixes, everything. Still doing it. It's good to see them healthy and still doing it in 2024. And yeah, they gotta be in Rock and Roll of Fame. That next
Right.
induction they gotta be on that list. Because what the hell are you waiting for? I'm saying we already lost ODB. You know what I'm saying? Like what they waiting for somebody else to drop dead? Like it's time now.
Yeah, man.
They are rock stars. When you think of rock stars, Wu-Tang Clan are rock stars. You know what I'm saying? Like you have rock artists that did shit with them. You have rock artists that were on tour with a lot of those rock groups. Rage Against the Machine left that tour even. You know what I'm saying? And come on, they gotta be inducted already. It's time now.
Definitely. But yeah, man, this was a great list, man.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
So I'm actually ending this off right here because I'm gonna catch up with my boy right quick.
All right.
And okay, so I was reading up a lot of interesting stuff. And, Eminem album, a lot of people actually like that. Yeah, I'm looking at it. So I'm gonna listen to it for myself.
You like the Eminem album
Yeah,
already? It just came out.
people heard it advanced, like it leaked early.
The industry niggas. I'm talking about the fans. I ain't talking about industry
No,
fans.
I'm talking about fans. That's what I'm talking about. It leaked
Did
early.
it leak?
Yeah, because people were making comments about it, and people posting like since like before midnight. That's
I
why.
ain't going by what they say. I want to hear it for myself because
That's what I'm
I
saying.
haven't enjoyed an Eminem album since Recovery.
That's what I'm
And that was
saying.
what? That was what? 2011? When was that?
2010.
That's a whole decade ago. Like he hasn't dropped nothing great in an over a decade. All that other shit, fucking Marshall Mathers LP2 was not a great sequel. Kamikaze, all that other Kamikaze and Revival, all that was garbage.
I agree.
Trash. If this album, I already said, if this album is no good, I'm done with Eminem. He could make another album for like I'm not listening to him no more. You dropped a decade worth of garbage. It's time. This is either gonna be a good last album or it's gonna be crap just like the other shit. Either way, it made no difference to me. If it's good, salute to him. If it's not, I'm just gonna listen to his old shit because I've already been done with his shit. You know, hang it
Okay.
up. Your time is over. Go sign some artists to Shady that are good. You had Griselda and you fucked that up. So sign some good artists to that label if he still has it.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna end this off right here.
All right.
So this
I'm,
Saturday
I'm
at
gonna
five.
say what I have to say on the next live stream.
No, so you can say it now. You say it now.
No, because it's not gonna take just 5 minutes though. You know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying?
Well, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you.
All right.
So this Saturday at 5 p.m. we're gonna do a sit-down retrospective on the Wayans brothers. We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored.
Is that Sunday or Saturday? I thought that was Saturday we're doing that.
Yes, that's Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Yeah, I want to do it Saturday afternoon because I'm gonna turn up Saturday night.
Okay.
Mike is gonna join us for that one. I'm gonna remind him. I know this is a show that we all like, so I'm not
Yes.
worried about
Finally,
that.
right. Wow. A show that we all like. We haven't done that since what? I don't
Nigga, we did
remember
a
the last
nigga, we did a
two to
show that we
seven.
like.
What's the last one that we did that we all liked? Was it 227?
227.
Yeah. That was how long ago?
That was literally before the last one we did.
But how many? It was like 3 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was originally gonna do Married with Children next, but that's gonna be the next one after Wayans Brothers.
Okay.
I'm actually getting the Married with Children book sometime this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I can't wait to talk about this one.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna still dropping some videos just to clear up some space and everything like that too. I'm working on the next Why the Beef episode. I'm gonna do Bill Cosby versus Eddie Murphy.
Mm, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna start working on the script this weekend. I'm working on my favorite sitcom episodes of Rock, so that's gonna be good too.
Did Cosby get mad at Eddie for mocking him with the Jello pudding pop shit?
Yeah, but we'll see.
I remember that.
Uh, I'm gonna send you the schedule tomorrow once I get it.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But already from the get go, Common and Eminem's albums are already going to be talked about next week.
Yes.
Also next week we're gonna do a movie review on Boys in the Hood.
Yes.
So yeah, anything you want to say before we head out?
Tomorrow, we did a review. We did a video dropping on my channel tomorrow. Top 5 artists soundtracks. These are artists that did
Yes,
full soundtrack albums like Prince, Batman, and Bon Jovi, Young Guns 2. Soundtracks like that. So that'll be top 5 artist soundtracks tomorrow on my channel. I'll probably drop it like 5-6 o'clock in the evening.
definitely. All right, but other than that, hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right.
I got a lot of albums to listen to this weekend, and we'll talk. Peace.
Yes. All right.
We're brothers. We're happy, and we're